How is it going, everybody? It's a wonderful week. We're 2 days before Halloween, and
2 days.
I don't have Chucky here today. We don't have anybody in the studio today. Mark's still busy working on his stuff, but we do have Remy and Ken zooming in again. How you two doing?
Doing great. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. It's hyper. It's Halloween. 2 more days.
Oh, you can't beat that. I'm looking forward to it already.
So do y'all have any plans for Halloween?
Not me, because my kids are grown, and with COVID, I'm not trying to hit any parties. So no, I'm pretty much gonna be good and home.
Remy, what about you? What are you doing for Halloween?
I'm going to be performing actually on Halloween. Super excited.
Are you going to be able to perform with only one arm?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to have to do.
Yeah, that's the magic trick.
Where are you performing at?
It's a couple of private parties, mainly. Tomorrow I'm on my way to Naples. Saturday I'm going from Boca Raton to North Miami Beach.
Nice. That should be a fun trip. Hopefully everything will go good with that. And how's everybody's week been going? Anything fun happening? Any new comics?
Can't complain. No, I haven't been to the comic shop, but I can't complain about the week, though. No problems at all.
Any new comics for you, Remy?
I'm just waiting on 3 Jokers to come in and, avoiding all the spoilers that come across my Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool panel. No, don't read it. Stop.
I gotta go this Saturday, pick up all the new comics. There's a new Power Ranger one that came out that I'm excited for, and there's a new comic actually coming out next month. Actually, I want to talk about real quick. I know I didn't put it in the chat where y'all knew about it ahead of time, so it's kind of a little surprise. It's going to come out on November 3rd. Bram Stoker's Dracula is being remade into a comic book, but there's a little catch.
Ooh. Yeah, I read about that.
When you think of Dracula,
I'll let you say the catch.
When you think of the actor Dracula, who do you picture?
See, I already know the answer, so I'm going to let Remy answer.
Go ahead.
Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi. He's the most identified with Dracula.
So they're doing a comic, Bram Stoker's comic, featuring Bela Lugosi being Dracula, using his likeness. And we actually have... They just released a little minute teaser video about it. So if we can go ahead and play that real quick. But yeah, that artwork is amazing. I'm very excited for it. Considering it's been almost a century since Bela Lugosi was Dracula in 1931.
Wow.
So,
didn't realize that.
And it's great to see they're combining him with Bram Stoker's version. So this is going to be really good. I'm excited again. It comes out November 3rd. So it's one I'm definitely going to have to go pick up. Probably a couple books. Keep one sealed and everything, and then with my dirty hands, open the other one and read it. But it has the graphic novel is adapted by Robert Napton from Battlestar Galactica, Warlord of Mars, with art from Al Garing from Pacific Rim and Tales from the Drift, and Kerry Gamble from Power Man and Iron Fist, and featuring Richard Starking from Doctor Who and Death's Hand will serve as Letnier. So it's going to be good. I'm excited.
Funny story.
I'm looking forward to that one.
I just ordered some comics, and a shop sent me the wrong comic. They sent me a Cult of Dracula comic.
Ooh.
I heard about that one too. Yeah, it's that's like a
I never
new
even
one
heard
too.
of this. I'm just happy that they sent it to me and not like some random like Christian kid in the middle of like Kentucky. You
Oh,
know,
well,
like
why
could you
not?
imagine? They're like,
That
I
would
just
be
want my
the
Flash
best.
comic, and they get Cult of Dracula.
Yeah. How is it though? Have you read it yet?
I haven't read it.
Okay, let me know when you read it what you think about it, guys. I've seen posts about it.
It looked cool. Like the graphics and stuff in it were really nice. The art style was really fun. It was intriguing. It didn't seem too haunted-y.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Make up words, it's okay.
Yeah, you know, like it seemed like it was less Halloween-y and more like Dracula. So I'm curious.
Okay,
Definitely
cool.
need to check that one out. But let's go ahead and start with our housekeeping then. If you want to be a guest on the show, because we always have room for other people coming in, or even a cosplay guest, email us at home@comicbook101tv.com, info@comicbook101tv.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I promise I will get on that Instagram soon and start posting more. But all that's at comicbook101tv.com. And again, where I go pick up all my comics every week, and somehow saying that, my phone decided to start talking. I mean, my watch did. That was nice. I owe $1 now. Place where I go get all my comics from, Yancey Street Comics, and again, follow Mark Muncy at erieflorida.com. He's been busy working on his new book, and Halloween time's really busy for Mark, so hopefully we'll see him back in the studio soon. But go up there, pick up a book or two, have Carrie doodle in it, and make some nice little monsters for you. And then let's go ahead and do our cosplayer of the week.
Ooh.
We have a good cosplayer this week.
But they're all good.
Oh yeah, I've never had a bad one yet. We won't ever have a bad one. They're all wonderful cosplayers. But our cosplayer of the week is Scarlet Witch Cos. I asked her what got her into cosplay. It was watching Iron Man one day, and she loved Pepper Potts, so she looked her up and saw a cosplayer of her, and she's like, oh my gosh, I need to do this. And she went ahead and did it. And that's why do you love cosplaying? I love meeting other people, other cosplayers, love seeing their hard work that they've done, and just having fun with it. And that is the best part about cosplay, seeing everybody's wonderful craftsmanship and how much fun they have with it. I asked her what her favorite cosplay is. She goes, she has a few, but she has to probably say Scarlet Witch. And again, her Instagram, Scarlet Witch Cos, and it's great. She does Ghostbusters, which is a perfect time to feature that kind of a cosplay right now.
Yep.
Those are some really good cosplays. But again,
I saw a meme
go ahead.
that said something like, it was like cosplayers for a con, and it had like a photorealistic, accurate Harley Quinn. And it was like cosplayers on Halloween, and it was just somebody in footy pajamas.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's true, because a lot of
I haven't seen
cosplayers,
that one yet.
they work so hard, they only want to do it for conventions because they've spent so much money on it, and they want to do it for like the, what do you call it, the cosplay contests and everything. They don't want to mess them up, so they'll just go and do little hoodies and everything, little onesies.
Oh, okay.
So I don't blame them. I would do the same thing. I have a onesie. I got a little red panda onesie I'll wear. Probably wear that Saturday. Not going nowhere. I'll walk around the house with it. Look like a...
It'll be worn, but not publicized.
Exactly. I only wear it at conventions, usually like on a Sunday, because Sunday is usually the day everybody wears their kigurumis. It's a lazy day and everything. But in Florida, it gets too hot at times to wear that.
Yeah.
And with me running around taking photos, it's really hard to get on the ground to get a good photo with a giant tail hanging off my back.
It's a matter of balance. I mean, it's there for a purpose. What's wrong?
But it's a good pillow.
That
If I need a pillow, I just roll it up and lay on it. It's perfect. So I gotta say, it's been funny. The last 2 weeks we talked about the best movies to watch for Halloween. Nerd Talk this week, guess what the topic was? Movies for Halloween.
Watch for Halloween, yeah.
I'm like, well, that's
I thought you were going
easy.
to go worst movies to watch for Halloween.
Worst movies?
Worst movies to watch for Halloween. I'd say White Christmas is up on that list.
Oh, worst movies. White Christmas, yeah.
Yeah. a horrible Halloween movie because it's not.
I don't. What would be a horrible Halloween movie? Making me think.
I would have to think.
Titanic. That is
All right, fair enough.
movie.
Not really a horror movie, but I could give it to you. I mean, people do die.
Yeah, a lot of people do. But there was room on the freaking thing for Jack to survive. She killed Jack. Well, that's a debate for another story.
Shame.
So tonight we're talking about some spooky comics. Then I threw a little twist at the end, some B-rated movies that we like for Halloween.
Fair enough.
So let's go ahead and start the first comic, which I think everybody is a fan of already, Venom.
Ooh, Venom's the man. I love Venom. I was gonna say he's the man, but that's not accurate.
Yeah, he's a good symbiote. But Venom,
he's the man encompassing the man.
yeah. So first time we saw Venom was, well, we saw the alien costume in Amazing Spider-Man 252, and that came out in May 1984. Then the first full appearance as Venom itself was Amazing Spider-Man 300.
Well, I mean, that was kind of debatable, though, because they were saying at first he created them in Secret Wars, and then Todd said, I think it was Tom McFarlane, somebody else said, well, no, there was actually a sneak cameo slightly before that. But technically, the suit itself, the symbiote itself, was first introduced in Secret Wars. I forgot which issue, though.
Yeah.
But the Venom we know and love, came out later.
But which one?
As far as where you get the whole teeth and the whole
Oh, yeah.
visual image that we know about him now. The actual, like I said, the actual suit, the actual symbiote came about in Secret Wars, though.
And there's been several people besides the one we all know that wore Venom. We've had Matt Gargan wear Venom, which was Scorpion. We'd had Flash Thompson recently, quite a few years ago, do it. And he was
Agent Venom or something like that, yeah.
And Agent Venom was bad because big, huge guy, guns and everything. So I really enjoyed Agent Venom. But what I love most about Venom is who created him, Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
And
I didn't. Oh, I seem to have missed that, but that's awesome knowing that he was the one that created Venom.
yeah, and that's one of the reasons I love Venom. But Venom's always been great. Eddie Brock's always been a great character in the comics as well because Eddie has that hatred towards Peter Parker himself. But then when Spider-Man got rid of the symbiote suit, Venom has a hatred towards Peter Parker and Spider-Man. So that kind of goes good with Eddie, and he starts off as a villain, but he turns more anti-hero pretty much
exactly.
throughout the comics. And is there anything y'all want to say about Venom?
I think the idea of the symbiote, he can't really be a bad guy.
Yeah.
Because the symbiote is more of a... it's like when a tiger attacks you. The tiger's not bad. The tiger's surviving. And I feel like the symbiote kind of falls in that same category. That, he has to feed. It just so happens he thinks he's got to feed on humans. Or, like that idea.
Well, the essence of it, but then the Venom symbiote, though, it basically is the spurned lover, quote unquote, of Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Like I said, he came back to Earth for Peter Parker, and he's like, basically, oh, you don't want me? I'm here for you. I made you stronger, made you faster. You want to get rid of me? Okay, I got a problem with you now. I've got your memories. I know all your secrets. Let me go over here and get with them. Now we have a problem with you. So that's why everything is we. There was no we that I'm aware of with Peter Parker.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
And so the first time we actually get Venom on the big screen is the one Spider-Man movie nobody likes to talk about. That Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, well, ignore number 3. That didn't really happen.
But that's because Remy's heart wasn't in it, though. They forced him to put Venom in and stuff like that, so that killed the whole storyline.
There's a lot that killed that storyline. The only thing I liked about that movie was Sandman. Because Sandman's such a great character, and the actor that played Sandman, I've always been a fan of. But seeing, what's his name, Topher Grace, running around as Venom, Topher's small. He's not Eddie Brock size.
Yeah,
when you think of Eddie's a big guy. And
Eddie was intimidating before the symbiote.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Topher is someone, if he came up and started crap with me, I would just want to flick him in the head and make him cry and run home to mommy. Go back home to Red Foreman or something, because he's not scary. But a couple years ago, we got a really, really, I think, the best version of Venom we could ever get. I don't think anybody else could play Venom better, and we do have that trailer. So let's go ahead and watch the Venom trailer real quick.
You should be extremely afraid. Thank you for bringing us collectively to this moment. It is a moment that so many have dreamed of claiming. History starts today.
The guy you work for is an evil person.
I don't work for him. My firm works for him. Are you gonna behave yourself tomorrow?
I told you I'm gonna do my job. I'm a reporter. I follow people that do not want to be followed. What about the allegations that you recruit the most vulnerable for tests that end up killing people?
Your time to go.
You finished, Mr. Brock.
Is that a threat? You had to learn how to hide in plain sight. I'm pretty good at it. But you suck. Whoever you are.
I work at the Life Foundation, and I need your help. We found something. We call them symbiotes. Carlton Drake believes that the union between human and symbiote is the key to our evolution.
I'm feeling really sick. I'm hearing a voice. Eddie. You're not real. You were just in my head.
I'm gonna need Mr. Drake's property back.
I don't know. Why would we do that? If you're gonna stay, you will only hurt bad people.
The way I see it, we can do whatever we want. Do we have a deal?
Are you willing to sacrifice the one thing you hold most dear? You should be extremely afraid. What the hell are you?
We are Venom.
Yeah, Tom Hardy did such a great job. I don't think there is another actor that could actually play Venom how he should have played him, play Eddie Brock.
Now, the movie Life, did you guys see that?
I think I've seen it. I don't remember. It's been a while.
It was supposedly the unofficial prequel to Venom. Because if you look at the creature in that and you look at the symbiote, you're like, oh man, that's got to be the same thing.
I'm definitely going to have to check that out then. But there's a lot of nice
great
hidden...
movie, by the way.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. You said it was Ryan Reynolds, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh, there's somebody else in it, and I can't think of who it is.
I can care less about Jake, but Ryan's in it, so I definitely got to watch it. I'll fanboy over Ryan anytime. I'll watch anything of his, except Green Lantern.
I watched Green Lantern. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
And we did have a comment in the chat. Jenna, our cosplayer of the week, said thank you so much. You're welcome. It was great having you as our feature cosplayer of the week. So let's go ahead to the next comic series, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh.
So Buffy was interesting because the comics at first didn't follow the TV show. The comics were more of the side stories, like after Oz disappeared from the show and when he was away, it showed what Oz did and showed all the side characters what they were doing throughout the show in its between seasons. It wasn't until after Buffy season 8, I think it was, when they ended, they actually went and did the next season in comic book form, so you knew what happened afterwards. And Buffy's always been one of my favorite characters there's been on TV and everything. And it started in Where did it go? Dark Horse Comics in 1998.
Okay.
You know, it was such a great comic and TV show, and just, I mean, like, I hope this doesn't sound sexist, but it was a great way to bring in women into comics more, and to bring them all over to the nerd side, you know?
Yeah, and because Buffy was that feminist type character where she was the power, she was the main character, leading lady, but she was cute, but she still could kick ass.
Yeah.
But then she
very much had that, but you're a woman, so?
Yeah.
Attitude. And I liked that about her.
But she still had her daily struggles of trying to hold a relationship, trying to have her best friend as Scooby.
Trying to be the normal girl, yeah.
And be the normal girl in school, keep her grades up and everything, and everything that went around that. So that's what made Buffy such a great comic and TV show. And I love the TV show. The only thing I didn't like about the TV show is when they made her sister up.
I couldn't say the movie, but okay.
But yeah, there was the Buffy movie. That was before the show. It was different. It starred, I can't remember her name, but Pee Wee Herman was in a movie. Christy Swanson.
Swanson, yeah. I met her once. I think I took a picture of it, but I gotta find it.
But yeah, it was a decent movie, but that wasn't how the Buffy on the TV show was. This one was the typical, like, back then, the dumb blonde. Not that blondes are dumb. I'm not saying that. I don't want that.
Are you sure? Are you positive?
Yeah, they played that stereotype of a typical blonde and everything.
Stereotype of, yeah.
And cheerleader type.
The cheerleader, the airhead, that whole stereotype, yeah.
And that's why I love Buffy, because it didn't do that. It kept her as a normal human being. Joss Whedon, even on the TV show, he's one of the best writers and directors there is. And besides Buffy, he led off and did Angel, the spinoff, and he also did Firefly, which was another amazing comic and TV series. Too bad Fox messed that up, though.
I will be honest, I've never seen Firefly.
Oh, okay, we're ending the show. I'm done. We got Firefly.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I hadn't seen it in forever, but when I saw the movie, Serenity, then I went back and watched some of the episodes. So then I had to get into it.
Firefly is amazing. Think of it's a space western, pretty much. But
I think that was why I never saw it, because I wasn't a big fan of space and I wasn't a big fan of westerns. So when somebody tried to sell me on that, I was like, oh, okay.
But they keep true to a lot of stuff, like there's no sound in space, so when a ship's flying, you don't hear anything. And there's nice little jokes throughout the thing. The character storyline and arches go really well. The ship, Serenity, it's funny, every episode, something breaks on it when it's flying. So you always see something flying off the ship sometime during the series. But it's probably one of the biggest series. It only was one season because Fox decided, hey, let's put this on Friday nights to go against the whole TGIF story thing against Boy Meets World, Family Matters, and all those shows. And they didn't air it in the correct order. So it kind of crashed and burned real quick. How do you air a show in incorrect order?
How do you air a show in incorrect order? Watch it bomb and be like, oh man, well that show sucked.
Yeah. And that's Fox. That's what Fox did then. But it became such a cult classic, everybody loved it. That's why they went ahead and did the movies. And after the movie, they went ahead and started doing the comics, which Joss Whedon as a whole was part of the comic as well, to continue the story. And there's been rumors wanting to bring it back. The whole cast wants to come back. So that's
of course they do.
So it's great. But we're rabbit trailing too far now. So let's go ahead and show the Buffy trailer real quick.
Yeah.
vampire in love with a slayer. It's rather poetic.
Tomorrow night, Buffy will face the Master, and she will die.
Giles, I'm 16 years old. I don't want to die.
The dark forces are aligning against us, and we have a chance to beat them back.
Buffy's got this big old yen for you. She thinks you're a real person.
You're in love with her.
Aren't you?
Did you really think you could best me here when you couldn't below?
You have fruit punch mouth.
What?
Such a good show. And
a friend of mine has a signed photo from Spike.
That's cool.
Spike's probably my favorite vampire that was on there. Angel, I didn't care for Angel. Angel was the whole, for girls, the whole heartthrob and everything. I like Spike because he just had that badass attitude. He just didn't care.
Rebel. David,
he had the hair.
Yeah, well, bleach blonde hair.
Spike had the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, since we're talking about Buffy, we can't talk about Buffy without Angel. Angel was one of the main characters in the show. He decided, well, Joss Whedon decided, hey, let's do a Buffy spin-off, and let's see how this would go. And at first, it was an okay show. The comic did the same thing, just pretty much took off after where the show left off. Because the last we saw in season 8, spoiler if nobody's seen it, there's a huge fight and it ends during the fight. You don't know what happens. And the comic goes ahead and shows everything else. Then it has the whole thing bringing Faith back with Angel as well. What do y'all think of the Angel comic?
You know, I didn't read the comic as much as the show that I watched. I had a girlfriend who was obsessed with Angel, so we watched it like every single night before we went to bed, or like through dinner and stuff. I ended up just really liking David Boreanaz.
Yeah.
Just following him in his career and going from Angel to Bones, and he's one of those actors that I think really found his niche and stuck to it.
Yeah. And he's always been on good shows. Like you said, Bones, great show, lasted quite a while on TV. And now he's on some other show where he's a cop or something, or a military guy.
Oh, I don't know what he's doing now.
SEAL Team.
Okay.
And that's supposed to be really good. I haven't watched it. That's normally not my type of show. But he's always had really good shows. He's found his thing in doing TV and not trying to go into be a movie star. And I think we do have a trailer for Angel, if we can roll that wonderful Angel footage.
You have it?
As to the intruder who broke into your home last night, local authorities have no information on him. However, we do have several top private investigators that...
We do things a certain way in LA. I keep my name out of the paper, and I don't make waves. And in return, I can do anything I want.
Can you fly? Guess not.
You know, there's a lot of people in this city need help.
Wow.
I'm not good with people. You sure about that?
Oh my god. Angel? Are you still...
Yeah, there's not actually a cure for that. I want to know who sent you.
I'm honestly not sure.
I get visions, a name, a face.
Oh, why me?
Because you got potential.
Angel Investigations, we help the hopeless.
Well, I know she can't type or file.
This is a business and we need to start running it like one.
You think it's right to ask people in trouble for money?
Well, sooner or later we are going to have to help some rich people, right?
I'm with Wolfram and Hart. It's our job to make sure that our clients' lives run more smoothly.
Lindsay.
Yes, sir. Angel. He's proven to be a costly liability.
I told you he wouldn't be easy. He can't be bought, and apparently he can't be killed even by a vampire slayer. That was so cool. Rumor has it he used to actually date me.
So you're Angel, vamp detective now? What's next? Vampire cowboy?
You wanted a war? Well, this is it.
You don't know who he is, do you? Oh boy, you're about to get your ass kicked.
Hello, Angel.
Wesley.
You're a demon hunter.
Rogue.
Demon hunter.
Right?
Am I intimidating?
As vampires go, you're pretty cuddly.
On the same side. I'm after this guy, too.
You telling me you're an investigator?
More or less.
Does he have a hat and gun?
Just fangs.
This life sort of picked me. I can't make up for the past.
You got a real addiction to the brooding part of life. Anyone ever tell you that?
Once or twice.
You were dealing with forces beyond your comprehension.
Yeah. Well, it's a hobby of mine.
It's all about fighting and gadgets and such. It's about showing them that there's love and hope still left in this world. Not just saving lives, it's saving souls.
Let's get to work.
Your lives are so meaningful, so exciting. You fight demons. At any moment, one of them could walk right through that very door.
And Remy, okay, Remy, there he is. Disappeared for a second.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. But yeah, Angel was a great. It started off slow. I didn't pick it up till probably about halfway through the series when it actually got good for me to watch it. And it was great. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the cameos everybody did throughout the thing. You would see Willow pop up and everybody else from the Scooby Gang pop over.
Yeah, pretty much all they had to do was have vampires, and I was like, I'm gonna watch it, but it turned out to be good too, so that's a benefit.
And the makeup for it back then was really good too. I loved how they did the makeup for Angel and everything.
For a TV show back in like, what was that, 2000s?
Late 90s, early 2000s, yeah.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah, I think 2005, I think. I don't remember the year. But then our next comic, we're going to go more towards the kitty side of comics. 1949. He actually created, in 1930 by Seymour Wright and Joe Aurelio, Casper the Friendly Ghost. And Casper was just a cute comic. For a while, people didn't know. There was controversy because they didn't know if he was a kid that was dead and we're reading a story about a dead kid or not.
Okay.
So that was interesting at first. Then in the 40s, right when World War II started, the Seymour sold the rights to Casper to, I believe it was Paramount, and they own the rights to it now. So they continued making the released by Paramount in 1945. So Paramount took over with that, and children's comics were great. It was a big hit back then. Then, have y'all seen recently where people are posting that Casper they think's Richie Rich?
Yeah.
I was saying somebody, I thought I heard it from you or someone, yeah.
He's definitely Richie Rich.
Well, yeah, it looks a lot
100%.
like it. They said it's not, but when you have them side by side, it really does look like that.
Yeah, well, the creators are wrong.
Probably. They don't want to admit it.
Yeah, they can't admit it after all these years. That's like, when your girlfriend says, listen, if you tell me the truth,
it's a trap.
I won't be mad. You're like, no, I've already committed to the lie. I can't.
I'm not going to admit to it now. But Casper was a good comic. They did a lot of TV shows, cartoons. They did a spin-off. Yeah, side by side. They look identical.
They're the same person.
Yeah. Just rich, bald, and dead. So, it's interesting.
That's wow.
But they
if they ever did say that was the truth, it'd be like, oh, wow.
Like I said, they did a lot of cartoons. They did a lot of TV shows. They've done movies as well. And Casper's always been a cute children's movie. I still watch the movie every year during Halloween time. And I think we actually have that trailer as well. You can watch a little.
Who's the dad?
In the movie?
Yeah.
Pullman, what's his name?
Bill Pullman?
Bill Pullman, yeah.
Nice.
And Christina
Nice, I
Ricci.
forgot that. Christina Ricci was hot for a kid.
She's even hotter now, though.
the halls of Whipstaff Manor. Waiting for someone.
There's a girl on my bed. Yes. Hi.
Casper.
Can you go invisible? That one's easy.
Now, life at Whipstaff Manor
Can I keep you?
will never be the same.
Cool.
Ghosts can't hurt you.
Yes, again, bone bag!
Don't come near me, you spiteful spook.
We share haunting stories, we throw parties. The parties are always pretty dead, though.
I feel like Oprah on hiatus.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
We have company.
Well, company loves misery. Boom, take a hike.
Get a grade.
Yeah.
Dad.
Oh, one and one for all. Catch your pants before they fall.
You guys are disgusting, obnoxious creeps.
Thank you.
Universal Pictures and Amblin Entertainment.
Are we scary or what?
Invite you on a wild, wondrous ride
Hurry up, come on.
to the other side.
Smellogram.
Casper.
Sorry.
It was a cute movie. Still enjoy it. But I know Rob said he mentioned he found another photo of the side-by-side.
Oh, let's see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same person.
Definitely.
Oh, wait, the tongue is a little different.
I was about to say, and there's no ears and no hair.
So it's what? In artwork, you just got to make it 30% different so it's not copyrighted. So that's what they did. Change the tongue, took off the makeup, took off the hair and ears.
It's amazing to think that they could go to court and be like, no, this is completely different. We don't have that line in their tongue.
If you look at how DC got the rights to Captain Marvel, that's all they said. He's just like Superman. Really? Yeah. Too many similarities, and they just basically outlasted Fawcett.
Yeah.
But the last thing I want to mention about Casper was good for that comic for kids to read is Casper isn't the ghost that's going around trying to scare everybody. He doesn't want to be that kind of ghost. He wants to be your just neighborhood friendly ghost that chills with humans and enjoys people and gets tormented by his 3 other brothers.
Yeah.
Or uncles. It was uncles.
Uncles, yeah, I believe uncles, yeah.
But our next comic, this comic actually fits in perfectly for now because it takes place on Halloween. And in 1989, The Crow was released. And such a great comic book.
Yeah.
It's still one of my favorite comics to read. Just because the crow is a supernatural bird that serves as a protagonist link between the living world and a realm beyond. And the magical crow is capable of resurrecting people who have been murdered so that victim may seek justice to the people or peoples responsible for their death. And it's based on the old Native American legend. So the whole crow's given the rebirth, and that we see that even in the comics and in the movie as well. And in the comics, we've had multiple. Crow's just not one person because of the bird. We've had Eric Draven, we've had Joshua Zane, Iris Shaw, Michael Corby, Mark Luang, Leandra, Vincent, Elora, Jamie, the Man, and Carrie and Salvador, and there's still a huge list that keeps going on of people that became the Crow. Pull that back up. And what do you think about the comic yourself? Why do you all love this comic?
The Crow was a great representation to me of conquering your own fear. It was this great representation of because for me, I was always scared of death. So knowing that there would be somebody to either help avenge or move you along, I always thought was a cool idea for the Crow.
Yeah. So what was different with the comic versus the movie? So in the comic book, you still have Eric and his fiancée Shelley, but instead they're on their way back from a romantic getaway, and their vehicle breaks down on the deserted road, and a car full of gang members stops not to help but take advantage of the couple's misfortune. They shoot Eric right in the head, paralyzing him, and while he's dying, they see them rape and kill his fiancée in the car. And then a few hours later, dying in the hospital. A year later, he's resurrected by the Crow, and then that's when he goes after that revenge. So the comic goes a lot darker than what we actually saw in the movie. Because in the movie, they came into the house because they were wanting money to buy the building, I think, or something. And that's when they killed both of them. And they hinted towards the rape, but they didn't really show it like the comic does. So let's go ahead and play the Crow trailer real quick.
Sure.
Because that's...
People once believed that when someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. But sometimes, just sometimes, the crow could bring that soul back to put the wrong things right.
You're all going to die.
Is that gasoline I smell?
Victims, aren't we all?
Short trailer, but such a good movie. Like, if he didn't die on the set, he would probably have made more Crow movies, and he would have had a great career.
Yeah.
And
Heath Ledger had signed on for his second role as Joker.
yeah.
You know, he died in the middle of it, so.
Yeah.
Still, this movie,
You get the
I
right
watch
people
it.
to become the character, and you can't beat it.
Yeah. I watch this movie every year on Halloween as well, just because it's a perfect Halloween movie. It takes place on Halloween. And just the music that was in it as well. You had The Cure. You had so many awesome bands that did the music soundtrack for it. And the special effects were amazing in that. And again, Brandon was probably the main reason that movie was good. I don't think any other actor could have did it.
I mean, he had such a, like, one, now, I don't want to say one-hit wonder, but such a well-rounded person with Brandon.
Yeah.
As the lead, you know, you had an actor, you had a guy who could probably do most of his own stunts, all of them, you know.
Then
I don't know if he did do his own stunts, but you know he could have.
I'm not sure. I didn't check into that. I don't remember. I just remember the one scene they said where he died was when the big fight scene where he was on the table and everybody was shooting at him. And that's when the prop gun had a real bullet in him and sadly took him away.
Yeah.
But we'll go from that movie to another Todd McFarlane creation. McFarlane's one of my huge comic book inspirations. I love him. I love the work he did with Spider-Man. And then he got tired of what was going on with Marvel. Him and a bunch of other people left Marvel, started Image Comics. Image Comics then created tons of great comics, from Youngblood to Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman's Walking Dead, to my favorite, which is actually won the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest comic book series owned by a single person, Spawn.
Yeah.
And
yeah, buddy.
Came out, and I remember when this came out, going to the comic shop, not knowing anything about Image Comics at the time, or Spawn, and picking this one up. I picked this up. I remember picking up Youngblood, and there was something else I picked up. But Spawn got me hooked right from the get-go. You had Al Simmons, mercenary-type character. His boss pretty much turns his back on him and gets him killed, and he makes a deal with the devil pretty much and comes back as a hellspawn for revenge and everything. His best friend is no longer his best friend. He's sleeping, got hooked up with his former wife and everything. And then you have so many amazing characters that came from that. And there's a cover right there from the spin-off of Spider-Man. And not spin-off, but the Spider-Man cover.
It's a monster,
300, I believe, is that cover. But he comes back, and there's so many other characters you had. You had Cagliostro, that is pretty much the mentor of him. You had Angela, which came on, I want to say, comic 17, I think. And Angela's now left because there was a big deal with who created her, and she's now part of Guardians of the Galaxy and Marvel.
I haven't read it in Marvel yet, but yeah, I heard about a little bit about the controversy.
Yeah. So then you also had Melboja, you had the clown, which was just creepy.
And Violator.
Violator. The clown that turned into Violator.
Girly man.
And even John Leguizamo that played the clown Violator in the movie was funny.
Yeah.
The fact that he was squatting for like the entire movie makes me so happy.
Yeah.
That's what we couldn't think about last week with John Leguizamo. We were talking about something
That's
he was
who
in.
it was, yeah.
We couldn't think of his name.
That was him.
That's funny.
But the comic is really dark. It's not meant for kids. There's an issue where there's a pedophile, and he goes to kill the pedophile. And Billy Kincaid, I think, was the guy's name.
The ice cream man, yeah, Billy Kincaid, yeah.
So he captures him, hangs him upside down, carves a poem into him, and shoves an ice cream sickle in his throat and tortures and kills him. So it's definitely not a kid's comic. And
I have a funny not for kids story for Spawn.
Okay.
So like 14 years old, the movie had come out, and I asked my parents to rent the movie for me, right? The live action one.
Yeah.
And they did, except they didn't rent the live action one. They rented the animated one, which
HBO
is like
one. The more true to the comics.
Yeah, the live action.
Like NC-17,
Yeah.
you know, not for kids situation. And I'm sitting there like at home in my living room watching it. My parents come out like an hour into the movie. They're like, "What the hell did you have us rent for you?" I started freaking out.
So yeah, the HBO animated series was great. It was more true to the comics, dark, grittier, gory, blood, everything. The live action movie, it was a disappointment because the movie studio took over. They had to change some characters' names around, and it's just not what McFarlane wanted. McFarlane is still trying to get his version out, the one he wants.
Yeah.
And we've heard
Jamie
rumors
Foxx's lead.
with Jamie Foxx being Al Simmons, which I'm fine with. Jamie Foxx is a great actor.
I'm down for Jamie Foxx to play Spawn.
So I'm excited for it. I still love, as bad as the movie was, I'd rather watch Spawn on a daily basis than Green Lantern.
Yeah.
See, I would be the exact opposite on that. Because Green Lantern's biggest problem to me was Parallax. And then Spawn's biggest problem to me was that Malbolgia looked like a chia pet. So really between the two, I wasn't really happy with either one of the villains.
So we're going to go ahead and skip the trailer on that because the next one I actually want to talk about more. We're staying with Image Comics here. So you had McFarlane running everything, doing his great work. Then you had Robert Kirkman come over and create another comic book that they didn't realize would turn into one that just ended, last year? It just finally ended in the comics. And that was a long run they had. Walking Dead.
Walking Dead ended?
Yes, in the comics it officially ended. They finally ended
I didn't know that. I missed that.
Yeah, came out, started publishing in 2003. And actually, after it ended, they just put out a few months ago a single issue Negan Lives comic. What happens to Negan after everything?
Okay.
But I heard about it.
Oh.
This is another comic that was a sleeper at the time. It wasn't a big hit. There's the Negan cover. Here's Negan. It was still a great comic because it wasn't just about zombies. Yeah, they're everywhere, but it was more about Rick and his team and how you survive through the whole thing and what happens when you meet other survivors. And it's pretty much all perspective as well, because you're watching Rick and his team, so you think, oh, they're the good guys. So when they come up to the governor is bad, Negan's bad, but if you look at their side of the story, maybe Rick's the bad guy trying to come over and take over everything.
Yeah.
But Walking Dead,
everybody's the good guy in their own story.
Exactly. And again, goes perspective as well. And I mentioned it even with the Cobra Kai TV show. In the original Karate Kid, Daniel's made to be the good guy and Johnny's the bad guy. But in Cobra Kai, Johnny tells his story. And it's like, wait a minute, maybe Daniel was the bully. He did take the girlfriend. He threw the dirt in the face first. And he started the fight.
Right.
But Walking Dead is such a great comic. The artwork is amazing. And the storyline was good because you never know who would survive, who would die. And it was just the whole story of Rick throughout the whole thing till it finally ended. And even with the TV show is great. I loved it. It kind of got drawn out a little bit for me. It got boring. But I'm happy they're still doing it. They did the spin-offs from it as well.
Fear the Walking Dead, and what's the new one now?
Something World, I think. I don't remember. I haven't watched the new
Fear
one
the Walking Dead was one of them, or
there was
Fear
Fear.
the Walking Dead was the first spinoff, and they have a new one.
A new one with kids. It's about the perspective from some kids. Then they announced once Walking Dead ends after the next season, they're doing a spin-off with Daryl and what's her name, Carol.
I heard about that too.
And doesn't Rick get a movie?
So yeah, Rick left the show to do a movie that's never happened yet. It was supposed to be done a while ago. So I'm hoping he comes back for the last season that they're going to do, because if he's not doing a movie, bring him back. Do something.
Right.
Because
my favorite fan theory that got busted was the whole story being told from Carl's point of view.
Yeah.
That it's actually him, like, in the future telling the story, and that's why his dad was amazing.
Oh, okay.
But of course, then that theory got thrown out the window. I won't spoil anything for people that are watching that haven't seen it yet, but, you know.
If you haven't seen that season yet when he gets killed, then that's your own fault. Because that was like 3 seasons ago. You should have seen that season by now.
Fair enough. I'll let you be the one to spoil it for people.
Carl dies. The little brat dies.
Thank God.
I was upset when they killed the one girl that was at the hospital. I can't remember her name.
Oh, Beth.
Yeah. That's the death that pissed me off on the show. Because she was breaking out into her own character, and it was like a connection with her and Daryl. You're like, okay, she's becoming her own character. She's going to be a badass. And a bullet to the head. I'm like, really? I'll kill the only character I like.
Didn't the actress go over to The Flash and play the Bee woman?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
She did a cameo over there.
Yeah.
She's done a couple things. I know she's a singer, too. But we have more stuff, but we're not going to be able to get to it, so we'll actually save our B-rated movies for next week, then. Because we actually are running out of time. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Wow.
Too. It went quick this week.
We had a lot to talk about.
And we still weren't done, but that's always a good thing to run out of time instead of topics.
Yeah, right?
So again, if y'all ever anybody wants to be a guest on the show, email us home, comicbook101tv.com, info, comicbook101tv.com. Follow us on social media everywhere. And Mark at EerieFlorida.com. And thank you again, Remy and Ken. We'll see everybody next week.